What's good, my lovely peoples? It's your main man Solace here, the humble servant of the life, the cute one, the cutest teacher of them all. Oh, I like fucking with it because that shit just makes my day. Anyway, let's get into this video called The Eighth Day. This was written in the Forgotten Books of Eden in the Secrets of Enoch chapter. That's Enoch for the dodo birds. Now let's get into this video. I gotta just do things the wrong way, I know, but that's just how I likes to do things. So just get comfortable with it. Now, let me get into this video because I explained this in a prior video. But whenever I break anything down, people always say, where was that written? Or who said else said it? Goofy shit. Mind you, everything I break down showing you through the life. So I figure that's all a person truly needs is the life as a reference. But y'all need the book. Now I read all the books, so I guess I'll just start teaching y'all through the books. I'm going to teach y'all something in my next video through the OASP. Now a lot of y'all probably don't even know what that is. And this is what makes me die laughing. Because we got so many scholars they ain't reading nothing. They're reading the same book. They scholars of one book. Through 3 books at most. Anyway. Now this is from the Apocrypha. Some people choose to read it, some don't. Doesn't make me any mind. They all books to me. So it doesn't matter. My knowledge doesn't come from the books. It comes from the life. Which is the same place the book got its knowledge from. So let me break this down for y'all now. In the Secrets of Enoch, the 2 messengers came. Now today times we call them angels. But 2 messengers came and they took Enoch and pretty much gave him a tour of the life, the world, all of it, all the levels of it. Not just Earth, but all of the life. So they gave him a tour of the cosmos and everything. Now in the book he says they took him up on their wings. And he describes their wings as being shinier than gold and all of this. So basically you have to understand that when he says wings, he's talking about plane or flying vehicle. So this is what he meant when he said their wings. He didn't mean they had wings, but they had the flying vehicles. And that's what they took him up on. So they took him up through the different levels of heaven. And then it's an interesting thing. Because when they got to the sun, they began to break down the sun to him. And they told him, they basically believed that the sun was the great spirit. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. They believed the sun was the great spirit. And they believed that the sun shone over us. So we all know the sun rises. And then it moves from west to east or east to west, I forgot. And then it sets. So the sun basically is going around Earth in its motion. Now this is the interesting thing because they believed that when the sun set or dropped, it was going below our plateau of the Earth down into the Duat or the Sheol as the Hebrews would say. This is basically the underworld. So they believed that the great spirit of the sun would go beneath our plateau on the Earth and shine above the Sheol or the Duat, which is the underworld. And then it would make its way back up and rise and shine over us. But the interesting thing was when the sun set and dropped and went to the Duat, it brought the dead spirits with it to the Duat. And then when it rose, it brought the newly born spirits up into the cosmos with it. So it was almost like the deliverer of the spirits. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Now when they was breaking that down to him, they broke down a part where basically the sun goes on its motion between our plateau and the Duat. It doesn't do that. There's a point in time where the sun drops below the Duat. And this is the time of darkness. This is what they called the 8th day when they was breaking it down to Enoch or Enoch. Now, we know there's 7 days. The sun sets, the sun rises. The sun sets, the sun rises. So you have 7 days of that. Now, each day represents 1,000 years. And they basically say on the 8th day, which is a 1,000-year period, the earth will be in complete darkness. This is when the sun goes beneath the underworld. So this is what they was breaking down. You basically have 7 days, which is 7,000 years. In every 8,000 years, from 8,000 to 9,000, you have complete darkness. And then it starts over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 years. Then the 8,000 years of darkness. And it starts over. So you can almost look at it as if the earth lives for 7,000 years and then it dies. Or it does like a polar bear and goes into hibernation for 1,000 years. If that helps you grasp better. But this is basically what they was breaking down to Enoch. And this is a deep thing because the biblical flood was the 8th day. You have to grasp. They have the biblical flood dated about 10,000 years ago, which would basically be around 7,000, 8,000 BC. Now we have the end of days that the Bible prophesies about with Jesus, which is between 1 BC and 1 AD. That was the second 8th day, or the second one that we have documented. Now, between 1 BC and the biblical flood, that's 7,000 years. So you have to grasp, it's a deep thing. We have our 8th day coming. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, it's 2016, so we got at least 5,000 years. And this is where you're wrong, because you have to grasp. For men to keep track of time, they must understand astrology and things of this nature. You can't just wake up and keep track of time. It doesn't work that way. So now you have to keep track of astrology and know exactly where the earth is in its orbit around the sun and know what month it is. Things of this nature. Now, if there's 1,000 years of darkness, that doesn't necessarily mean when we see 1 AD that was the end of it. That just means that that's when they got the knowledge to keep track of time again. But 7,000 years could have went by between 1 BC and right now. So we think only 2016 years went by between 1 BC and now. But it could have been 7,000 years. Truly don't know. Because we don't know when they begin to keep track of time again. And it's a deep thing. We could be a month away from our 8th day. And it's a deep thing because we could survive through it. Meaning those of the biblical flood could have survived through that 8th day if they would have listened to Noah. Because he was basically trying to forewarn them so it wouldn't be so harsh. Same with Jesus. He was trying to forewarn them so they'd know what to do during the 8th day. And it's the same like now. I did a video prior breaking down how this always happens. And no one's paying attention. So it's a deep thing. We can prepare for this 8th day, this cycle that the earth goes through every 8,000 years. Or we can pretty much act like Solace don't know what he's talking about. The same way the people of Jesus' times act like he didn't know what he was talking about. In Noah and so on and so forth. Now, this is in Hinduism too. In the Satya Yugas and the Treta Yugas and all of this, they have these same breakdowns. They just got their own wording for it. That's why it's important to read more than one text. You can get an abundance of knowledge. But the main thing to grasp is that we must keep track of time accurately. Therefore, those that come after us, they can know how to adapt and adjust to the times. Because this will always happen. Now, sometimes men make it happen before it's supposed to. Not saying that it still won't happen, but men will just have two between the 8,000 year period. So it's a deep thing you got to grasp. We got to get in line with the times. Because as of now, we're not even keeping track of time right. We got it as November. It's really October. We got it as 2016. It truly could be 4069. So it's a deep thing we got to grasp. We got to get the timelines right so you can know what's what. Or you'll be all over the place. It's just like with the hurricanes and all these recent tornadoes and earthquakes that's been happening. I know a lot of people like, oh, this is the end times that they were speaking of in the Bible. No, this is just other countries going to war with other countries. But, people advance in weaponry, so they're tapping into the meteorological warfare, where instead of you drop a nuke on the place, you just drop a tornado or an earthquake. Cause an earthquake or a tornado to happen. The same way they do in the oceans. It's called sonar. And then you see all the dolphins basically on shore, dead. And then of course the tornado was some shit in the ocean. So it's the same things, man. They just tapping in a different kind of knowledge, and they're using it for war and stupid stuff, as opposed to giving people good days and sunny, beautiful days. It's just like global warming. They're making the temperature slowly warmer like that on purpose. Why? I don't know. I'm not a part of NASA, so I can't tell you that. But I can tell you that it's getting hotter, and global warming, that ain't real. That don't make sense. So you just gotta grasp, man. We can control the weather. I mean,